This week, we are taking a look at some weird and paranormal stories from the show business, some of which were recounted by the well-known celebrities themselves. There is a general perception in Korea that the artistic talent and spiritual talent share similar wavelength. We can see it from the use of language already. When an artist shows a natural gift, we often call it as ki. Ki is a corruption of ki, meaning chi or energy, and colloquially means a natural talent, but usually specifically in more artistic, showy, or charismatic kind. We don't refer a great mathematical genius as ki, for example. Now, when somebody shows the power of the third eye or spiritual sensitivity, people say the person has shin-ki. Shin here means God, spirits, or ghost, so literally means spiritual gift. It shows the sad perception of categorizing an artistic and spiritual gift in the same bracket. As if to prove that notion, many celebrities came out with their own paranormal sightings over the years. There's even a rumor in the music industry that an album recorded at a haunted studio becomes a hit. But there's a second layer to this, namely the nature of Korean show industry. In Korean television, entertainment shows command a big portion in terms of airtime and popularity. They may be in the format of a talk or game show, challenge show, educational or social awareness show, but they are all basically presented and led by various celebrity figures. And those who shines their quirky, funny, amiable, or quick-witted personality can earn a stardom regardless of their original background, be it singing, acting, or modeling, etc. One of the biggest and most beloved show personality of the past couple of decades is Yoo Chae-yeong, for example. He started his career as a minor comedian, but began to gain recognition in such entertainment shows with his slightly awkward but humble and personable character. By now, he doesn't do much that could be considered as more traditional role as a comedian, like a comedy sketches or stand-up, but mainly as a presenter of various entertainment shows. For that reason, regardless if you're a singer, actor, comedian, model, or sports star, it's quite important to shine their unique personality when invited on a TV show. Popular TV shows usually produce a horror special for summer holiday season, and as a guest to such a special slot, you have to come up with a short but impactful ghost story of your own. I think it's definitely a big factor why there are a lot of ghost accounts from celebrities, and so we have to take them with a pinch of salt. Anyway, that was a bit long intro, and let's now read some stories. Here are short paranormal accounts from 7 celebrities, plus 3 extra ghost sightings from theater and film productions. As always, handpicked, translated and narrated by host, Anthony. So, we are going to listen to 7 paranormal experiences from 7 Korean celebrities. I think telling a ghost story is a bit out of fashion by now, and I couldn't find any from the younger, more globally known names, so no BTS or Blackpink here, sorry. They are also mostly in short formats because they were usually told as a part of a TV show and had to be kept that way. Anyway, let's meet 7 celebrities and their stories now. Yoo Chae-yeong was a singer. She had a career both as in group and solo, but best remembered as a part of the vocal group Cool that debuted in 1994. She was popular beyond her singing career for her funny and down-to-earth character, but sadly passed away in 2014 at the age of 40, shortly after she was diagnosed with stomach cancer. When Chae-yeong was still an unknown singer, she once bought a bob-cut wig for her upcoming gig. That evening she was in a room and her mom came in asking, "Why are you keep calling me?" Chae-young didn't understand because she didn't. After dinner, she and her mom were watching TV side by side. "Mom!" They both heard it. Somebody calling in Chae-young's voice. They searched around to find out where the voice was from. "Mom!" The same voice was heard again, and it was from the shoe cabinet. There wasn't anything though other than the new wig still in the shopping bag as Chae-young left it there earlier in the day. She couldn't be sure if the wig was really the culprit, but it was enough to make her decide to return it the following day. That night, she had a dream in which she saw little kids playing jump ropes. Chae-young came up to them and found the kids had no faces, just bob-cut hair all around, front and back. She burnt off the wig as soon as she woke up from the dream. Shin-young is a comedian debuted in 2003. She later had a bigger career as an entertainer featuring in various talk or variety shows and also presents a popular radio show. Still as a newbie comedian, Shin-young performed in a small theater production. To save money, she slept in the theater after evening shows. In the middle of the night, she was woken up by the loud footsteps running across the stage. What she saw between the gap of the stage curtain was the feet of a little baby running. She was shocked. Then she found a face peeping at her through the gap of the curtain. A face whose mouth was where the eyes should be. Shin-young fainted at that point. Deux was a male duo group that first brought the hip-hop style to popularity in Korea. They debuted in 1993 and had a successful career, producing 3 albums in 2 years. But it was cut short tragically when one of the members, Hyeok-jae, was found dead. The cause of death was by the injection of animal tranquilizer, but his then-girlfriend, who was tried for the murder, was later set free for not enough proof. Hyeok-jae's untimely death remains a mystery. The other half of the group, Lee Hyun-do, continued a musical career as a solo singer. This is what Lee Hyun-do later recounted on a TV show. When Hyeok-jae was still alive, he one day talked to Lee Hyun-do about the dream he had. In the dream, they just finished the performance. Fans ran to them with bouquets of flowers. But strangely, they gave all the flowers only to Hyun-do and not a single one to Sung-jae. "Ha! You should be happy to get all the flowers," Sung-jae in the dream complained. "Don't worry, buddy. Tomorrow you'll get all the flowers. Many, many more than these," Hyun-do said. Kim Sung-jae was found dead the day after he talked about the dream. And indeed, he got many, many more flowers at his funeral. Ha-ha is the stage name of Ha Dong-hun. He debuted as a singer in 1997 and continues the music career. But to the public, he is best remembered as an entertainer personality who starred in such popular shows as Infinite Challenge and Running Man. One day, after a shooting of a show, Ha-ha was on his way back home. Usually his assistant would have driven the car, but he seemed particularly knackered that day, and Haha took the wheel while the assistant fell asleep at the back seat. Haha wasn't familiar with the route though, and at the intersection he called for help without taking the eye off the road. "Sorry to wake you up, but do I take right or left turn here?" Assistant gave him directions and Haha drove on. Until he ran into a heavy lorry running head-on. He barely managed to miss the collision. Phew, that was close. He took a deep breath, but he stopped breathing when he heard the manager saying, "What a shame, could have finished him." Haha turned around and found his assistant still deep in a sleep. Who was it then that gave him directions? Jin-kyung was one of the first supermodels in Korea, debuted in 1993 during the heyday of celebrity fashion models. Her slightly awkward and quirky personality made her a favorite face in various entertainment shows, and later had a diverse career in comedy, acting, and singing. One day, Jin-kyung and her close friends went on a trip together. She took the window seat in the train, but the weather outside was grey and dull, and like the rest of her group, she too dozed off. Then her friend sitting next to her shook her up. "Wake up, Jin-kyung." "What? Why? What's up?" Jin-kyung replied, still groggily. "Look out! Look!" her friend said. Jin-kyung looked out where her friend's finger was pointing and saw a mother and a child walking parallel to the train. They weren't even running, but their nonchalant walks were keeping up with a running train. It creeped Jin-kyung out. What is that?" she exclaimed, turning to her friend, and found her friend still deeply asleep. Jeon Hye-bin is an actor. She debuted as a member of a girl group called Love in 2002, but she quickly moved on to acting career. She starred in such films as Mermaid Unlimited and Cheer Up Mr. Lee, and TV series as Gunman in Joseon and Another Miss Oh. This is from when she got a part in her first feature film in 2004, a horror flick titled Dead Friend. Hye-bin was very self-conscious about her acting skill, and the director gave her a homework daily, little acting scenes to practice at home. Hye-bin took the task earnestly and shot herself on camcorder to check her progress herself. But one day, her pet dog would keep barking and jump on her, interrupting her practice. In the end, she hid herself in the closet and filmed herself on infrared mode. A few years passed, and Hye-bin came across these old tapes one day. She played it for fun, and when it reached the section she took in the closet, creepy sneering sound was recorded over her voice. When it was taped, there was nobody else at home, not to mention any sound from the outside would have got muted inside the closet. Wondering how it got recorded, Hye-bin replayed the section a few more times, and the laughter seemed to get louder every time she played it again. She got scared and turned off the video player altogether. Following day, when a friend came by, she played it again for her. But this time, there was no weird laughter. Hye-bin was not sure anymore. Was the laughter really from the tape? Or was there something at her home previous day? Hyeok-jae debuted as a comedian in 1999. He became popular as a sub-presenter and guest to various popular entertainment shows, but was blacklisted post-2010 after assaulting a female staff one drunken night at a bar. One day, Hyeok-jae came back home drunk. He went straight to bed, but he woke up with an odd feeling and found a strange woman lying next to him. He ran to his parents' room and told them there was a woman in his bedroom. But by the time his parents checked in, there was nobody there anymore. Just to make sure, Hyeok-jae also asked his younger sister if it wasn't her, but his sister denied she even entered his room. Maybe he drank too much and mixed up a dream with a reality, he thought, and went back to bed. But soon, he again felt another presence next to him and found the woman lying on his bed again. He jumped out of his bed, calling for his family. But then he realized something and passed out. That his parents and sister were all away on a holiday together, and he was alone home. I used to be a small-time actor and once performed in a family musical show in a small town. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a rumor that ghosts love dark and noisy places, so they frequently appear in a recording studio, karaoke bar, and metro stations, and theaters. Probably that's the reason I experienced some weird anecdotes. The auditorium was laid out in 2 floors, parquet seats and a balcony. A kids' show in a small town didn't attract that many audiences, and that day too, we only opened the parquet seat. During the show, there was a scene that I get to sing a solo song in the spotlight. Towards the highlight of the song, I spreaded my arms and looked up as the routine went, and saw somebody standing in the balcony seat. Briefly, I thought it should be a theater staff, but the person was dressed in all white, and his face was so distorted to be a normal person. Soon the normal stage light came on after my solo scene, and with that the auditorium got brighter too. But the weird guy in white wasn't there anymore. Later I heard some of the dancers saw him too during the show, but nobody knew who that was. Another day, during a blackout for scene change, it's not always easy for performers to find their way out, especially after a group scene. So we made the routine to exit hand in hand, leading one after another off the stage. That day too, lights went off, and I held the hand of the fellow actor ahead of me, and another colleague held my hand following me off the stage. But once behind the stage, I realized I was the last one to go out of the stage. I asked around if anybody held my hand just now, but nobody said they did. In the first act, I had a scene to put on a makeup on stage. I would turn to the mirror away from the audience, put some powders on my cheeks, and exit through the stage door while other actors carry on with the scene. And one day, while looking into the mirror in the scene, I noticed somebody was looking through the set door. The door had a little peeping window. The glass was slightly blurred so that the audience could not see through it easily, and for that reason I could not make out who that exactly was. I got a bit anxious because I was to exit through that door soon, and whoever that was in the way. While I was thinking that, the person behind the door pushed the face closer to the window. Our eyes met through the reflection on the mirror, And those eyes were all black. I was so shocked and just walked out through the other stage exit. These are just a few of my experiences, but if you know any actor or theatre staffs around you, do ask them. I'm sure a lot of them will tell you similar stories as mine. Many years ago, when I was 25, I just finished my military service and was looking for a part-time before the new semester in my uni started. I ended up working for an art department of film production. A friend of my older brother was the art director of the production, and he invited me to work under him. I was an art major, so it was a perfect opportunity. It may sound like a bragging, but I was a skilled artist and was up to work hard with a soldier's muscle memory still in my body. So I quickly became an important assistant, though I was just a part-timer. The production was for a horror film, and shooting took place in an abandoned school in a countryside. My God, the creepy atmosphere of that place was really something. One night, we were shooting a scene where the female lead encounters a ghost and runs away screaming along the long school corridor. It was to be an intense scene with a handheld camera, so most staffs were told to stay away apart from the director, camera, lighting, and me, holding various kind of props in my hand. And it wasn't because I wanted to see the beautiful actress in close proximity. Maybe. Everything was set, and the director radioed the assistant director at the other end of the building, who was to give a cue to the actor to play the ghost.
Is it all ready?
But there was no reply, just a static noise.
Oi, AD! I said if it's ready!
Short-tempered director shouted to the radio again. A short reply finally. With the director calling action, the actress slowly walked along the corridor while the camera followed her from behind. When she reached about the midpoint, there was a short from the radio. And with that, the actor playing the ghost appeared from the far end of the corridor with a sneer on his face. He made a most grotesque posture by planting his one foot and hand on the wall, resembling a spider crawling down. I was impressed. It was a non-speaking extra role, but the actor's commitment was commendable. The female lead turned around with a scream and ran back, while the ghost actor chasing her after. Soon both the actress and the camera went downstairs, but the ghost actor didn't slow down. As he ran past me, he gave me one look. His smirking face was like that of a teenage boy having a mighty fun. The director was clearly very happy with the scene, exclaiming, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." But then we heard screams from the downstairs. We all hurried down to find the actress and female staffs crying huddled together and the male staffs looking pale. The thing was, the actor to play the ghost didn't come on time and was still doing the makeup. The AD was there hurrying the makeup staff. That meant there was nobody to answer the director's radio call earlier, nor the actor to play the ghost. The female lead and other staffs refused to shoot in that school after the incident, so in the end we had to build an entire set, which delayed the schedule by a few weeks. In 2013, I was 20 and was part of the touring theatre group. The whole play takes place at a funeral. My role was the oldest son of the deceased and the man of the family. In the second half of the play, there's a scene my character falls asleep in front of the shrine. When my character's mom and aunt comes onto the stage, my character sleep talks his honest mind. During the rehearsal, it happened once that I actually fell asleep in the scene and missed the cue to say my sleep talk lines. Well, life as a touring actor is a tough one, so... Fortunately, other actors, who were all seniors to me, took it with a good humor, but it was honestly an embarrassing moment. On the opening night came the sad scene, and I was tense not to repeat the same mistake of really falling asleep. When the mother and aunt characters come onto the stage, the lighting shifts to them, leaving me in the relative darkness. And as soon as the lighting shifted, I heard, "Jae-ho, Jae-ho, Jae-ho." Somebody calling the name of my character again and again. I thought probably a fellow actor was doing that from behind a backdrop to make sure I didn't fall asleep. I made a subtle finger gesture to show her that I was awake, and with that, the voice also stopped. So the first show finished with no further incident, and only then I realized it was a bit odd, and asked the fellow actor if she called my name earlier during the show. She clearly didn't know what I was talking about. Come to think of it, during the scene she had to quickly change into another costume and couldn't have had time to do such a thing. Then the sound engineer came into the changing room and asked me,
Hey, was everything alright during the show?
Now, I knew the engineer guy had a bit of spiritual sensitivity. I was already in a strange mood and asked him why he should ask me that.
Well, in that scene where you fall asleep, I saw something whitish floating behind you,
he said. For the rest of the run, I was always tense and silently freaking out during that scene, but fortunately nothing more weird happened. Later, the engineer guy commented that because during the play my character's name is called many times, probably a passing ghost picked it up and played with it. Hi, it's Anthony here, and thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I wonder if ghost stories from show business is common in your culture too. Considering there are few Hollywood films that is rumored to have recorded a ghost apparition, I think it's not uniquely Korean. I mean, the film like Three Men and a Cradle is by now better remembered for that one scene with the alleged boy ghost, for example. I guess there's a certain morbid mixture of our love of celebrity and horror. If you enjoyed my work, please leave it a like and a comment, and please consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd support me more directly, I also have a Buy Me a Coffee account. The link's in the description. Buy Me a Coffee supporters get an early access to my new video. Thank you. I'll come back with something different next Sunday. Stay safe and take care.